In this video, I'm going to show you how to change the background color of a cutout image in Photoshop. I'm using Photoshop version 24.7.0 and a Mac for this tutorial. First, I'll show you the steps to change the color of the background of a single image. Then I'll show you how to do this on multiple images by automating the process by recording an action. At the end, I'll show you how to fix problems you may come up against. Open an image you want to process in Photoshop. The first step is to locate the contextual taskbar. By default, it'll be here at the bottom of the screen. If you can't see it, click Window in the top menu bar. Then at the bottom of the drop-down, select Contextual Taskbar. When it's selected, you can see a tick next to it. Click on the Remove Background button in the floating panel. This checkerboard pattern shows the background has been removed, and this area is now transparent. Next, we're going to add the new background color. To do this, we go to the Layers panel. In the bottom of the Layers panel, click on the middle icon, this circle icon here, and select Solid Color from the drop-down menu. In the pop-up window, choose the color you want to use. I'm going to use a pale grey by entering the hex number F9F9F9. Then click OK. Next, go back to the Layers panel and click and drag the Color Fill layer below the image layer. You can see the background color has changed when you compare it to the white background in Photoshop. You now need to save the image, but because we've created an additional layer, it cannot be saved as a JPEG. So to save as a JPEG, we need to flatten or merge the layers to make a single layer first. We can do this by going up to Layer in the top menu bar and clicking on Flatten Image from the drop-down. Now we can save the image as a JPEG. Go to File, then Save. Note this will overwrite the original file. Now I'm going to show you how to record these steps as an action so you can process lots of images in a batch without having to open them up individually in Photoshop. To do this, we first have to record the action. You'll need an image open in Photoshop in order to record the action. You will only need to do this once. The action will be saved for using later. In the Action panel, in the bottom right corner of the screen, click on the hamburger icon on the right-hand side and select New Action. Give the action a name such as Change Background Color and click on Record. Now follow the steps to change the color of the background as we did before. In the contextual taskbar, click on Remove Background, create a solid color fill layer and enter the color of your choice. This time, I'm going to use pale yellow simply so you can see the color change easily. Click and drag the color layer below the image layer. Next, flatten the layers by clicking on Layer, Flatten Image. Then go to File. Save a copy. Click Save. Then OK. Now click on the square Stop Recording button down here in the Actions panel to stop recording the action. This time we are making a copy of the original file as the Remove Background tool does not work perfectly every time, and we may need to process some images again individually. You now have a one-click button you can use to change the color of the background. You can click the arrow at the side to close the steps and drag it to the top of the Actions panel to make it easy to find. To run this action on an individual image, open the image and select the button in Actions tab and click on the play arrow at the bottom of the panel. A copy will be automatically saved. However, when you close the image, you'll be prompted to save the original, which will overwrite it. To keep an original copy, click on Don't Save. You'll need this copy if the automation does not work, and you need to process the image manually. Next, I'm going to show you how to apply this action to a batch of images in a folder. Here is the folder. It's called Website Images. To process all the images in this folder, open Photoshop, click on File, Automate, then Batch. It is within the default action set, so we don't need to change this first box. Next, choose the source folder by clicking on this button. Keep these first two boxes unticked and the second two ticked. In the destination box, select Folder and choose the folder you want the processed images saved in. Make sure the override action Save As command box is ticked, then click OK. Photoshop will now process the images automatically. Let's check. However, as I mentioned, the Remove Background tool does not work perfectly every time, and some images will need additional manual processing to make them usable. The images that this process does not work well on are usually light-coloured items or items with reflections. This is why we don't overwrite the original image when saving the automation. I'm now going to show you an example and show you how to fix it. Let's say we have identified this image of a coat as one that has not worked correctly after running through the automated process. See how part of the fabric has been removed. We need to open the original image and run through steps manually and paint back the missing areas using the brush tool. First click on Remove Background. See the areas we need to reveal by painting them back. Make sure the mask is selected in the Layers panel. You can see when it shows a dashed white line around it. We need to next paint back the missing area. To do this, select the Brush tool and make sure the colour white is selected by clicking this box here. If this box is black instead of white, click on this little double arrow symbol to swap over the colours so white is now on top. Now with the mouse, start painting in the missing areas. Basically, when Photoshop processes the Remove Background command, it hides the background using a mask. This mask can be adjusted after using the Remove Background tool to reveal these hidden areas. We can now proceed to add a solid colour layer and save the image. Let's look at another example. On this image of a boot, the shadow and part of the sole needs to be painted back in. Here's the original image. Click on Remove Background. Let's add the background colour layer, as this can help you see how the image will look. Now make sure you have the mask selected in the Layers panel and select the Brush tool. A soft brush is best for painting in shadows. You can change the size and softness of the brush by either clicking on this round icon in the top corner here, or by right-clicking the mouse. Use the sliders to change the size and softness as you need. If you accidentally paint an area and need to change it back, you can click on the little arrows to make the brush colour black and start painting back the mask. Quick tip: if you find you are painting a colour and not adding or removing the mask, click on these two small squares here to reset the colours to black and white. When you are done, flatten the layers and save the JPEG. Note that when you change the colour of a background that was originally white or very pale, there are limitations as to how dark or saturated the background colour can be changed to before the edges can look unrealistic. This concludes the tutorial on how to change the background colour of a cutout image in Photoshop. I hope you found this helpful.